Green Team Media.
Can you tell me a little bit about your character?
Carmen Cortez. Carmen Cortez, starting off, was a very spunky kind of girl in the first film, and a lot like Rowan Mason's character. She didn't know that her parents were spies. But as soon as she becomes a part of the Spy Kids franchise, I think that's when Carmen had the opportunity to grow. She got to play with tons of gadgets and learn a lot about herself and become really strong. So now for Spy Kids 4, Carmen's really grown up. She is a little bitter at the beginning of the movie, though, because she's fighting with Junie, and we don't know why. But Carmen comes around. She's a very strong, cool character.
So what was it like to, this might be hard for you to think all the way back, but what was it like to be a spy kid?
Oh my gosh, no, it was so amazing. Being a spy kid, like growing up doing that, it was the best experience you could have had. On those sets, we played with gadgets all the time, and they put us in harnesses and flew us around the room. You know, that was the best. We basically played dress up every day, which was super fun. And, you know, coming back on this set and seeing all of our old gadgets and all of our old sets, it was a little sad because you forget how quickly time flies by, because it felt like just yesterday that we were on that set.
Yeah, so what was it like working with Robert Rodriguez?
Robert Rodriguez, he's a lot like my dad. He's really taken a father figure role for Daryl and I in our lives. He's always given us great advice and supported us and always been there for us when we needed him. So this last October, he was the right person, I thought, to walk me down the aisle, and he did. He gave me away at my wedding.
So what was it like to reappear in with in the film?
In the film with Daryl and everybody? It was interesting. It was funny because at first I didn't think it was real. I thought it was a rumor. And then when I found out we really were coming back for Spy Kids 4, I was so excited because, like I said, these were the best times of my lives and the best of my life. And going back, it was truly amazing. So without hesitation, I would have come back for anything.
So in the movie you have a brother, and you guys are fighting in this film, but had you guys seen each other since you'd done the last Spy Kids movies, or was this like, oh yeah?
Oh yeah, good to see you again, buddy. No, you know, really, we'd seen each other off and on over the years, but it had been about a year or two since I had seen him before I started filming this movie. And when I saw Daryl for the first time, his voice was really deep, so he sounded like a man, and he was so much taller than me. And in all of the Spy Kids movies, I was taller than him, so it was weird to have to look up to my little brother, but it was a great experience.
So what would you say this movie is about?
Spy Kids All the Time in the World is about these two young kids who have a stepmom that they don't really care for, and they don't trust because they feel like she's hiding something, and they end up finding out that she is a spy. And these kids end up going into the OSS, and at the beginning, they're kind of babysat at the OSS. They're not even spy kids, but they decide that they need to help the world and they know how to stop the timekeeper. So with their own strength and their own will, they take off to go save the world, and like kids can do, they owned it and saved the day.
So in the beginning, they don't know that you were a spy kid, but when they were filming the movie, could you relate to what they were doing on set?
Oh my gosh, yes, because we lived that. Daryl and I were those kids. So it was really funny kind of passing the torch to them and teaching them the ropes, even though they knew way more than we did. But Rowan and Mason came on set. They were so professional, but they knew all about the gadgets, everything. They had their lines down. They were really good at their job.
How old were you when you actually started filming the Spy Kids?
The first Spy Kids? I was 11 when I auditioned, and I was 12 when we started filming. Crazy, right?
Yeah. This isn't an animated film, so these are actual kids and you're actually helping them, and it's green screen, but it's not like animated people walking around and saying, I'm going to save the world. It's like actual people going around.
Robert, when he first came out with the first Spy Kids, it was a film that was completely different than all the movies that were out there. There weren't films that kids could really look up to. I mean, yes, they looked up to Superman and James Bond and Wonder Woman, but they were always looking up to adults. They could never really look up to other kids. So I feel like when Spy Kids came around, it was the first time that kids really saw that they can make a difference. When they saw Carmen and Junie saving the world, it was very motivating and empowering, and it suddenly gave kids goals and made them realize, even though we're little, it doesn't mean that we're not capable of great things, that you could really do anything. And I think that's what all of these movies are about. They're about empowering kids to be excited and to kind of motivate themselves, and I think that'll only help them grow up and be even better adults. So hopefully people get a great message from this film and learn that unity is super important.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. It was nice meeting you.